Welcome to the Dojotalkpodcast. Please remove them shoes before entry.
Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Looking to the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. We're on episode number 69. It is Sunday evening, January. Oh no, it's Monday. I lied. It's Monday evening. I'm back with my co-host, the Anti-Cool. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Oh, everything all at once, but not much.
Yeah. I guess before we get started, appreciate everybody who listened to last week's episode. That very long mega cast that we dropped.
Oh, hold up. No, keep going. But I want to shout out one person in particular.
I feel like I did too. Actually, you know what? One thing, actually, real quick. I guess we made it. That we got our first dislike. We got 2 dislikes actually on YouTube, compared to 3 likes though. So you know, take that for what it's worth. We actually got a comment on the YouTube channel also of somebody who's accusing Michael Chandler of being on steroids. But either way, appreciate you guys listening. The episode actually did pretty good. So if you stuck through those 3 hours and 30 minutes, we appreciate it. That was a long episode, but it was fun though.
Here's somebody I know for a fact watched most of the episode because they got they got into our discussion about The Shape of Water. So I want to shout out Garbanzo. Garbanzo.tumblr.com. Thank you for watching it all the way through.
Right, because we didn't talk about that until like almost the very end.
Oh, that was the very, very end, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for sticking through that long. Guess coming up today, we'll go over news. We'll go over this Jacare Vs Brunson card. I guess we'll just start with the biggest news. So two big fights, but one is definitely bigger than the other. Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic that's going down. Did they say what card that's on?
UFC 226 during International Fight Week.
Oh, that's funny. We were just talking about that like a podcast or two ago.
Literally last week.
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah.
And I said this would be the main event.
Yep, that's going down. I had a lot of thoughts when this got announced.
My first thought was, damn, like they're just gonna pile all the super fights onto one card.
Hey man, International Fight Week. I guess you got to do it big. I saw a lot of people actually complaining about this fight, and I don't.
Well, they suck.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Because, like at this point, like DC and Stipe, well, especially DC, like there's no. He could fight Gus again, and like I still do want to see that fight. But with Gus, like I don't even know if Gus is healthy right now or like really what's going on with him.
Just the Gus who said DC was running from him on like Facebook, despite the fact that like Gus is on like I want to say like month 1.5 of his rehab from shoulder surgery.
Oh man. Yeah, actually, yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah. So, I mean, like, other than the Gus fight, which, you know, that's not going to happen if he's recovering from surgery, like, who else was DC going to fight that he hasn't beat already or we just wouldn't care to see? Like, don't get me wrong, I like Glover just as much as the next man. Do I really care to see a DC and Glover fight? Not really.
DC might, I'd want to see it just to see if DC could knock Glover out. Because Glover don't take no shots anymore, so.
I don't know, man. DC's at the point where just like he can feel like he can just kind of do whatever, man. Like he's beating everybody, not named John Jones, but John Jones ain't here right now, so it kind of is what it is. And Stipe's kind of in that same boat where like he's just been knocking out everybody, and he just took out the one dude who myself included, thought would be like a legit threat to his title, and he may still be in the future, but Stipe shut that down. And I mean, who else are we gonna watch Stipe fight? Do we want to see Stipe and we're doomed too? Like, I'm not. That fight doesn't make me excited in the least bit.
Like the only other two guys in the top 10 who potentially are any type of interesting are Curtis Blades, who thank God this fight was made, because even if Curtis Blades goes out there and beats Mark Hunt at UFC 221, he still gets his ass beat in this matchup. Like,
Yeah.
it is a year or two before that type of fight should be made. So like, thank God DC Stipe is being made, so we don't have to watch Stipe mow him down earlier in his career. But it's Blades and Volkov, and maybe Volkov could be interesting, but that's not the fight I want to see.
I still want to see the Kane fight. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get it. I feel like this slowly becoming one of those fights that I want to see that just might not ever happen.
I mean,
But
and that was the whole thing. Like, DC not wanting to take the fight because of Kane. I'm assuming this just means we're not going to see Kane for a very long time.
yeah. To run the rematch back with Skyscraper.
I mean, Struve does have the only knockout win over Stipe.
He does.
So they might have actually done that if he had beaten Volkov.
I mean, there's a story there, and I mean, like, if anybody remembers that fight, like, Stipe was given, from what I remember, like, Stipe was giving Struve the work up until Struve pulled that comeback and just.
Stipe fought pretty well in the first round, and then like Struve, who took over with his reach, because Stipe was pretty clearly tired after the first round, and like his head movement wasn't able to keep up with just how much like distance he had to close to get to Stipe to Struve. So,
Well, we'll see. The Volkov fight would be slightly interesting, only because, like, I think we mentioned before, like, Volkov is at least like a competent heavyweight.
yeah.
He can strike, he can stand. I don't know how many of Stipe's shots he can take, but for what it's worth, it's a fresh face, somebody who Stipe hasn't KO'd cold yet.
Someone who's not 30 years old yet.
Right. So we'll see though. But for the record, I think I'm gonna pick DC in this. I think I'm gonna pick DC. I think I am.
Like, if this was, I'm picking DC too, but like I'd probably be more sure if this was like I took a year off because of injury. I got knocked out by John Jones, DC. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm pushing 40 DC. And I was getting hit by Volkan Oezdemir.
Yeah, and see that's the only thing that kind of makes me hesitant to go all in, is that, like, I don't know if it was just because it was Volkan and he just kind of figured he could run through him, but I would hope against Stipe he's not willing to give and trade, because he might trade and that might be over. Like,
Yeah.
he might not wake back up. But
This could literally be a fight where like Stipe just comes out and decks him like 20 seconds in and it's over.
all right.
But if it goes 5 rounds, it's going to be a sloppy, competitive 5 rounds that might involve DC tossing Stipe on his head, which would be new and awesome.
There would be something different. So, yeah, man, that's an awesome fight. I guess other big name fight that's going on in Bellator. Shout outs to the person who left that comment on our podcast last episode. So we will get to settle this. Michael Chandler, Brent Promise 2, going down at Bellator 196. For people who didn't see the first fight, some people will argue that it was a fluke. Promise caught Chandler with a leg kick, kind of buckled his whole leg. Chandler almost knocked him out on one leg, but at the end he wasn't able to finish the fight. So yeah, we'll get to see that. I think you probably have most of the rest of these notes covered, so I'll let you go over some of these, and I'll just jump in. So some of these fights are good. Some of these some of these are sad.
All right,
Shout out to Bob Sapp.
we can save the obvious one for last, I guess.
All right.
But in boxing news, Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin 2 finally has an official date, but I don't think anybody ever thought it was going to be anything but Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be May 5th. I don't know if they have the undercard set yet, but we officially have the rematch on paper, so that's good. We also have Roy Jones retirement fight. Will be on Fight Pass. It'll be on February 8th, meaning in less than 2 weeks, and it will be against Scott Sigmund at the Bay Center in Pensacola, Florida. You got any comments on that?
Good luck, Roy Jones, I guess. You know what? There was a small, because I knew he was trying to do a retirement fight a while ago. And I was somehow hoping, and I don't know why, him and Anderson Silva could finally happen. Just let two old guys go in there and do what old people do. But I don't know. You know,
I'm really surprised it hasn't, to be honest with you. They might be working for that in China. Because, like, Silva's, I don't know what's going on with his suspension or whatever, but they could just throw him in a boxing ring and put him in China and finally appease whoever whoever helped them get the UFC in mainland China. Right. So, but on to more pressing matters. Nate Diaz is teasing a return for May or June. I'm assuming this is because the UFC doesn't have a headliner for May or June. They're going to have 6 champions. They might potentially have 6 champions fighting in July for International Fight Week. Who knows when the winner of Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov is going to be ready. Who knows when Ronda Mayunas is going to be ready. Or and who else is left? Like, I guess maybe Max Holloway, but like that's basically it. If he beats Frankie Edgar. Bellator 194. We have former champion Liam McGeary facing off with prospect Vadim Nemkov. PFL. Rising from the nuclear holocaust like the cockroaches they are. They signed a deal with Facebook and NBC Sports. They will be going ahead with their $10 million tournament idea. Or is it 10 divisions, $1 million each?
I have no idea.
And I assume they have to pay these people, too, for fighting. So, let's see how well that goes. But they are set to make their debut on June 7th. Or their return, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yes, so, their season, quote unquote.
Their season starts. Bjorn Rebney is tossing and turning in his grave.
Hey, we said we would keep tabs on PFL, and we delivered.
Man, PFL can't keep tabs on PFL.
I'm waiting for this, like, they're going to have their event in June, and by, like, August, it's all going to crumble down when they realize they ran out of money already.
Like, they could have got, like, a $50 million TV deal, and they'd still be, like, hundreds of millions of dollars in the hole. Moving on. Speaking of Tough 27, Stipe and DC will be coaches, and the lineups have been announced. I'm not even going to bother going into who's on the show, because I don't think anybody listening out there watching know anybody on the show. So, but if tough is your bag, the lineups are out there and they're available for everybody to see. So check that out. What else is out there? Showtime Boxing has released their schedule up until June. It involves, let's see, March 3rd, we're going to have Wilder Ortiz and Charlo versus Centeno Jr. at middleweight. Garcia versus Lipinets. And then Mikey Garcia versus Sergey Lipinets. And Ramsey Bartholomew versus Relic 2. We're going to have Erislandy Lara. Oh my God, why did they put him in any type of freaking position of main eventing? He's going to be fighting Jared Hurd. Do they just not care about this kid anymore?
That's a cold world out here.
Like, let's give him the most boring matchup possible. That's going to be April 7th. On April 21st, we're going to have Adrian Broner versus Figueroa with Gervonta Davis in the co-main event spot. Funny story, in April, Gervonta Davis posted a text chat between him and Broner where Broner basically threatened to roll into Baltimore and shoot him dead.
Broner, you're not about that life.
I mean,
Broner, you're not coming to Baltimore and doing that.
Hey, I'm not sure Broner is smart enough to process that he's not about that life.
Yeah.
Then again, this is a man who robbed another man over a bowl, like $500 in a bowling match or game. So, who knows? Adrian Broner.
I just hope Gervonta Davis shows up this fight. Cause I remember his last fight left a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
So.
Keith Thurman not fighting Errol Spence this year. Says he wants to rematch Danny Garcia and God, who else?
Yeah, it was another name he threw out. I can't remember either. But you know what? I'm not mad now because I feel like now that leaves the possibility of Spence and Crawford.
Porter. There we go. So yeah, so Keith Thurman's gonna be fighting Danny Garcia and or Sean Porter this year, and not Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford for that matter. So, but that's gonna be on May 19th in Brooklyn. Adonis Stevenson versus Badu Jack is also going to be on that day. So that I'm not sure.
We mentioned Jack before on this podcast. I feel like.
But Badu Jack's been steadily becoming like one of those dudes who's just really fun to watch.
He beat the bricks off of somebody the last time we mentioned him.
Oh God, Nathan Cleverly.
Something. He boxed that dude's face off.
Yeah. I don't know why they're waiting 5 months for this fight, but they're going to do a rematch between Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz. Like, their first fight was good. It did good ratings on ESPN, but it wasn't anything special. Like, it wasn't a fight of the year type deal. Jermell Charlo is going to be on the undercard for that. It's going to be on June 9th. And just to close that out, Errol Spence Jr. will be fighting on June 16th. Opponent to be announced. So, did I get to everything?
Only other few I got. I guess back to MMA. Joe Lozon and Chris Grussmacher, Joe Warren and Joe Taminglo, Angela Hill, Marina Moroz, and I can't remember if we mentioned this last podcast or not. But Carlos Condit and Matt Brown is an official thing now. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. And well, I guess we had one more, but I'll let you kick that one off.
Yay. To the dismay of many a WWE and MMA fan, Ronda Rousey is officially part of the WWE, and she will be wrestling at WrestleMania.
I'm trying to imagine what a Ronda Rousey promo, and like I don't really watch wrestling anymore, but
they should not give her a microphone. Ever. Everything is pre-recorded. Hide the fact that she cannot speak on a microphone for crap. Do not give this woman a hot mic, please. Right.
So did she do anything at the Royal Rumble?
Okay, so So I'm not sure how familiar you are with the WWE's relationship with their Japanese talent, but let's just say it's not been good, like at all.
Oh.
So this year, it just so happens that two darlings, really, of like Japanese pro wrestling, Shinsuke Nakamura and Asuka, end up winning the Royal Rumbles. Asuka being the first woman to win the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, having to deal with the winner going to WrestleMania and fighting the champion of their choice. She gets, she wins the Rumble, does the thing. She points at the sign. They like it when you point at the sign. Um, the champion's get in the ring and she's about to choose which one she's going to face at WrestleMania. And then all you hear is, "I don't give a damn about your reputation." And out comes Ronda Rousey.
Oh no.
After like a 20-second pause where we know she's there because it's her freaking song, but somebody forgot to give her the cue to go out.
Oh no.
Yeah. So she walks into the ring, awkwardly points at the WrestleMania sign. Like, I want you to see this picture of her pointing at the sign. Because it is so awkward. Like, you can tell this is the only direction they gave her is, like, point at the damn sign. So people know that you're talking about WrestleMania.
Alright, let's see where Ronda's Alright, let's see. Do.
And she's in Roddy Piper's jacket.
She doesn't even look convincing. Like, she almost looks like she doesn't want to be there.
Well, the thing is, she wants to be there. That's the thing. Because she actually likes wrestling.
Yeah, this is not being sold very well.
She kind of like, I don't even know how this. She kind of strokes the woman behind her's title and then exits the ring. So they completely undercut poor Asuka's win, so that they could get Ronda Rousey in the ring.
I wonder if they're gonna try to make her into like. Are they gonna give her like the Brock Lesnar treatment? Is she just gonna shoot up the ladder?
They need to, because she can't be on TV every week. Like, if you can't cut a promo, and like, you're not like, we don't know how she is as a wrestler. She's a fantastic athlete. She is a legit judo champion who can do like incredible things that normal WWE performers can't do. But we still don't know how she does in like a match setting.
Right.
I don't know if she could take a flat back, like.
That's what I'm wondering.
So,
like, can she take bumps? Is she gonna jump off any turnbuckles?
she shouldn't. She should just be like a powerhouse. Like, I'd love to see her fucking just throw Nia Jax. You know what I mean? But like, if she can't do that, she can't be on TV every week. You just can't. She, like, I feel, and the rumor is they're trying to have her like tag team with The Rock.
What?
For a match, because they're not sure she can work a match by herself.
I mean, I guess that wouldn't be a bad. I don't know about her and The Rock, but I guess that wouldn't be a bad thing though if you pair her up with somebody and you know, to I guess maybe get her feet wet a little bit. But anything that doesn't involve her in front of a mic, I guess I'm okay with. Like,
She's just not a good actress. Like,
yeah. A Ronda promo would be so cringeworthy, like ungodly cringeworthy.
just like give her like, she doesn't have to say like all this crazy shit. Just let her say like, call somebody a do nothing bitch, and just toss them.
Wonder what's a Ronda finishing move gonna be?
Armbar.
They gotta give her something different.
The armbar is the finisher for a lot of. It's Becky Lynch's finisher.
She should
Like,
have some kind of judo throw or something.
judo throw into the armbar. Like,
I don't know. I don't know. Ronda. I mean, I guess it is good though that I don't know. Being slightly optimistic, maybe the fact that she's a fan of wrestling will help. Maybe she'll because she wants to be there. That I don't know. Maybe that'll raise her game, quote unquote, in terms of like having mic presence or something like that. But
Like, I just keep going back to like the gym stories I hear about Ronda when she was first coming up in like MMA, and like how she she kind of got chased out the gym a little bit. Um, and like I'm imagining her at the performance center with all those girls who've been doing this for like since they were like 13.
right.
Like I can't imagine like her and Kyrie Sane like getting along, you know?
She's
Or
gonna have to find somebody to to get her under the wing. Cause I'm pretty sure they're probably paying her pretty good money. I would imagine.
yeah.
So somehow like they have to make that work.
And this isn't like the WWE for like from like the 90s or 80s where like people cared about whether you were the big dude on campus or whatever. Like most of those dudes did not care that Hogan was the champ because Hogan brought all the money. Like it's not that same. It's not the same type of thing as it was back then. Like now everybody wants to be the star. Which fair enough, but that means when you get a legit star like Rousey in there, it kind of throws a wrench in the whole thing. And I get why WWE fans are upset because women have been treated poorly for like the vast majority of WWE's history, and it's only recently that they've been treated like real competitor. Oh, I don't even want to say competitors because WWE doesn't treat anybody like competitors. they're sports entertainment, but they basically they with any type of respect. Let's go. They're treating the women a little better nowadays. So I guess it just sucks to see somebody come in who basically only came because she rage quit the sport that she was actually like famous for. You know what I mean? But this is the same company that once had Lawrence Taylor headline WrestleMania. So of course they're going to sign Rousey.
Yeah. They were that was Bellator before Bellator.
Yeah. Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow once headlined WrestleMania.
I think I watched that. Did I watch that? I feel like I watched that. But I don't want to rag on Ronda for too long, but yeah, I guess that's the thing.
I mean, like this was kind of like I won't say it was the last option, the only option available to her, but it kind of was.
I mean, the other option was to leave your camp, but
I'm factoring in the mental blocks that Rousey gives herself.
Yeah, that's yeah. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with her and then the WWE.
She's gonna be like a faction with what's her face, Shayna Baszler, eventually.
Ugh.
Hey, Baszler is actually good.
Is she?
Yeah.
I can imagine her cutting a promo though. I feel like she's probably
She is somebody who is like she's Josh Barnett's trainee. Like of course she knows how to cut a promo.
Yeah.
Not saying Josh Barnett cuts a good promo, but
it's something.
She knows the rubric.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, do her and Ronda get along? I wonder.
The 4 horsewomen.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah, so she probably should go under her wing because
that's probably why Shayna Baszler's in the WWE. To be honest with you.
That's just I don't know. We'll see. When is WrestleMania?
March, April, I think. So you got a few months before for build up.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye out, but I will not get my hopes up for anything.
At least we're getting Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles. That's gonna be amazing.
I actually just saw him for the first time the other day. Or maybe like a week ago. Nakamura? Yeah.
Was it the WWE run or was it New Japan?
Might have been New Japan. I know it wasn't WWE.
All right, there we
Or
go.
was he in NXT?
He was in NXT for a little bit.
No, it was NXT. It was NXT actually that I watched him. Yeah, he actually is really, really good.
He's legitimately the best in the world, or at least at one point was. I don't know about anymore.
But yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it for news and notes, all the good stuff that happened this week over the weekend. So I guess let's get into this card. Which hintity hint side note. Where's my sticky pad? This card had the all-time low rating on UFC Fox of 1.5 million viewers. They said the official number will probably be like slightly higher, but probably not by too much.
Before we hop into this, can we talk about something real quick?
Yeah.
About how the UFC's in a contract year, and they're supposed to be putting on their best programming possible to draw on the biggest amount of ratings this year, and they somehow came up with Jacare versus Brunson as a headliner for their Fox show.
I mean,
like these cards are basically just violence for violence sake at this point, right?
I guess they figure. That's weird though, because this card didn't. And I think they mentioned it in the article. Like, this card didn't really get like a ton of promo. Like,
I mean,
this was one of those cards you kind of forgot was even happening, unless you're just like a big Jacare fan.
It's seriously, what on this card is there the promo? Like, the main card was a couple of middle of the road, admittedly really fun, but like not really going anywhere. Welterweights and Drew Dober and Frank Camacho, hometown guy who's like 1-1 in the UFC, taking on a blue chip prospect who's basically only fought on TV once in Rinaldi versus Gillespie, and the co-main event, which is Andre Fili versus Dennis Bermudez, two guys super far out of featherweight title contention. And then at the top, you got Jacare and Brunson, both dudes who have basically lost to every top fighter they've ever fought, except Gegard Mousasi in Jacare's case. And Jacare's pushing 40, so like we're kind of seeing like the peak of Jacare.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
maybe they have another deal or some other place they want to go. I don't know if this is the best foot forward. But I mean, it is just the start of the year. Still.
But like next week it's Eric Anders and Leo Machida, and Leo Machida hasn't won a fight in like 4 years.
They're banking on Anders becoming the next somebody, I guess.
And they're gonna have him do it in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like how mean is that? God.
What if he loses?
I mean, there's a good chance he does lose. There's also a good chance he goes out there and just waylays the dude.
Yeah. I feel like Machida's probably gonna get mollywopped. But I don't know. You never know. Machida's real crafty. He might have another crane kick up his sleeve.
But point being, like these cards are just turning into violence for violence sake, man. Like there's so much turmoil at the top of so many divisions because the UFC's done a bad job of like giving the most deserving fighter a title fight, that it stalls up all these. Like, Jacare and title contention should be a fun thing, but it kind of isn't, because we just kind of saw him like what type of run was he on before he lost to Robert Whittaker?
I thought he had a pretty decent. Let me see. I thought he had a pretty decent run going.
Like before he got like absolutely like shit kicked by Whittaker, he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-1 in the UFC, and his only loss came in the controversial split decision to Yoel Romero. Then he goes on Fox and gets absolutely obliterated by Whittaker. Like, where.
Well, yeah, 2 fights after the Romero fight, though.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like he was winning the UFC, like
Yeah.
all this momentum behind him, and it kind of just got flushed down the toilet.
And it was bad because like the Whitaker fight wasn't even close.
Yeah, and it was a Fox. So like he went from his last fight losing in like not even the co-main event spot, I think, or was it the co-main? No, it was the second fight on the card. So he went from losing in that fight and getting knocked out to headlining. You see what
Well, I mean, I guess kind of to his credit though. I mean, he still was one of those guys that people were probably waiting for to come back. Yeah, I don't know if he'll. Actually, no, I can't say if I don't know if he'll win a title, because I don't know how I feel about. Well, maybe aside from Romero, because Whitaker, is he still? He's still out. I think they had an update on his injury though.
It's eating his organs.
No, I saw something. I didn't click on the link though. They said he offered something positive about his.
Oh yeah,
recovery.
he posted a picture of himself training on Instagram. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's well enough to hit the pads.
But I mean, to Jacare's credit, even at 40, I mean, like outside of those those top 3-4 guys, he still probably, well, as we saw in this main event, which I guess we'll get to, kind of just obliterates most of the other competition.
Yeah.
I mean, if the card was for violence sake, the main event ended in such fashion. I'm actually rewatching this fight again now.
Oh no, like this card was like if you were just in it for the violence, there was some good violence on this one. Like
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie though, this main event actually, I picked Jacare to win. I thought this fight was gonna be a bit more. For some reason, I thought it'd be a bit more back and forth than what the first fight was, and I mean, I guess in a way it was. I feel like Brunson threw more, but he didn't land a whole much.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch the fight, like it's Jacare. He's throwing a lot of body kicks. Brunson would get like these little flurries off, but I felt like most of the punches, like Jacare, they were just kind of rolling off of his arm, or like he would just tighten up his defense and kind of evade him. And then Brunson got countered with a right hand, and he shook his head like it didn't hurt, but I'm pretty sure he probably felt it. And then, like, I think at one point, Jacare went for a takedown. They got in a quick scramble. Yeah, like, it wasn't too much, like, crazy action, really, up until that head kick. Well, like, and Jacare was just working kicks the entire fight. And then Brunson would blitz, Jacare would dodge, he would counter with a right, and then eventually this head kick lands. I wonder if I don't know. I'm wondering if he got caught the head kick because maybe he thought it was going mid, because that's where most of Jacare's kicks were going, and then Jacare just kind of went high, catches him right on the head, and Brunson just stumbles back. Jacare catches him on the right, gives him a few like left hands, and that was a wrap. That was
Don't forget the part where Jacare just got casually strolls after hitting him with the head kick and just walks over and continues to punch him.
Like, and it was funny because I feel like Jacare's demeanor this entire fight was like, I feel like he felt really confident. I think that he would win. Like, I don't think there was any doubt in his mind that this fight was gonna end any other way. And then it was good to see him after the fight. Like, he was really emotional. Especially coming back from the loss that he recently had. So
that, and I think he was hurt.
Yeah.
Like he had to get like surgery and stuff. Not even just hurt. I think he had like a health issue.
So
I can't remember what it is though. So
all that combined, I guess being said, I can see why real emotional. Good comeback win. You beat the you beat the hometown guy in devastating fashion. Yeah, I mean you can't really write up a comeback better. Like you come back and you head kick this guy pretty much into oblivion, and yeah, you put yourself back on the mat pretty much.
Pretty much
like you never left.
He's got a big fight lined up. It's gonna be Chris Weidman or Kelvin Gastelum, or I guess he could just fight the winner of Rocco Romero if Whitaker's not ready. So
does Weidman not have a fight lined up?
I don't think so. He'll probably be on that Brooklyn card.
I would love to see Jacare and Weidman. Definitely would like to see that fight.
I mean, after Rockhold Romero happens, it's like the last middleweight fight that needs to happen.
Yeah. And then Weidman can go up to 205.
Yep. Also, side note, I think prior to this fight, Brazil had yet to win a fight in the UFC in 2018. I want to say they were 0-6 or 0-7, including a couple losses tonight. Saturday night against Godofredo Pepe lost and Juliana Lima lost, and Joaquim Silva lost. So I want to say they were like 0-7 heading into the main event of this one. So Jacare stopped the bleeding.
Yeah. See, gotta leave it up to the vet to put the whole country on his back. For Brunson, dude, you think we've seen his peak? This is about as high as a Brunson can go.
Well, his peak involved him having his chin so high up in the air on his punches that it looked like he was trying to see over a fence. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we've seen the best of Derek Brunson, and it's just not that.
Yeah, like I mean, he always has a puncher's chance in a fight, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, he might. Puncher's chance can always get you, I ain't gonna say by luck, but he is normally always one punch away from winning a fight. But I feel like anybody else that he fights who can crack like he can, but is just a bit more skilled than he is in terms of like just being more well-rounded, in terms of somebody like a Jacare who can knock you out but can also take you to the ground where you're like pretty much guaranteed to lose. Like I don't know how he does against like the elite of the division. Like I feel like he'll always be like right outside of like those top guys.
But yeah, I mean, dude's just a defensive liability. He is a knockout waiting to happen.
Yeah.
He might stand a better chance if he went back to being a blanket or like a top control ground and pound type of guy. He was able to get Romero down.
I feel like that was why they weren't giving him big fights at first.
I mean, probably, but like
Yeah,
it was really like he got into the UFC like really early into his career. I want to say he was like 3 or 4 years in. Like I feel like he's only been doing this like 8 or 9 years. Not only, but yeah, no, I don't see Brunson having like a late career resurgence, or like because he's like what 34 now.
Is he really that old?
Yeah, I want to say he's 34.
Oh,
He started pro in. Oh no, he started pro in 2010. All right, yeah, he got into the UFC in 2013 or 2012, I should say. Oh God, no! So it's been like 6 years of Derek Brunson flirting with being good. I don't see Brunson going any higher than he is now, unless the entire division above him just kind of falls off at the same time.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say that I think the one thing kind of on his side is that, I mean, he's 34, but a lot of the top guys, they're pretty up there too. So I don't know. He might be able to slip through the cracks somehow. But then I don't know if he gets past a dude like a Rockhold or. But then I don't know. You could get Rockhold on the chin one time. I don't know. I don't envision him winning a belt, but I feel like crazier things have happened. I don't know. I could somehow see him getting a title shot. Maybe not like this year, but just on the fact that some of these older guys are just eventually going to fall off the earth. And if he can somehow keep himself around, he might be a punch away from at least a contender fight.
I think it just comes down to how much longer is he in his athletic peak.
Yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, power can carry you, but only so far. So I don't know.
Not speed and everything like that.
Yeah. And I would hope as he gets older, hopefully he can tighten up that defense. But good win for Jacare. I'm all down for head kicks. That is my favorite form of KO.
Yeah, I
So-
will say this. Like, Jacare moved to the States. He's now like he's a full time here in the U.S. I think he's in like Florida or something.
Yeah, they mentioned that during the broadcast because he I guess he wanted to change
Thank God, because X Gym. I gave him too much credit for making Jacare because their gym not good, not good. Not in like technique or anything, like on strength and conditioning and like game planning though, not good. Like their strength and conditioning coach looks like a bodybuilder.
I think he was saying too, like in that gym they were just training him like way too hard.
Oh
Like
yeah, no, it was like straight up like you said every sparring session was like a fight,
yeah.
and you can't be
So-
doing that at 38, 39.
You're right. Yeah, work smarter, not harder. So yeah, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know, new gym. He might have one more run in him. That might be, like the fresh breath, so to speak, that he might need to maybe get him that one last run.
I really
But-
like the stuff I saw from his coach when they were working on the countdown show or whatever the hell they were playing in between during commercials where it was literally just him throwing the same kick that he used to knock out Brunson.
Told you, I had no doubt. I have no doubt in my mind that Jacare, like, when he went to sleep the night before, he just envisioned how this fight was gonna go, and he just went in and did exactly what he saw. But great win for Jacare. As a fan, I was really happy to see him back, and happy to see him back in the win column. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on him and see what happens next. This next fight. Also, shout outs to Fox cards because there are only 4 fights on the main card, which I'm always appreciative of. Co-main event: Andre Touchy-Feely and Dennis Bermudez. Some would say controversial split decision. I don't have the scorecard in front of me, but Feely won a close split decision. I will say, in real time when I was watching this fight, I felt like Bermudez was giving Feely the work. I went back and rewatched it, and I think this fight was actually a lot closer than I gave Feely credit for. But I can't say he won still.
Yeah.
Can't say he won. Because he got outstruck something. He got outstruck by like 30, 40 strikes, I want to say. My numbers are probably off. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, which I definitely probably am. But I think this fight and what other fight was it? This fight and the one on the prelims, the Ji Yeon Kim fight and the Justine Kish fight.
Yeah.
These fights to me kind of had the same story as to where, like, anytime as good as Bermudez did, this fight didn't have, like, there were no moments like the Jacare fight where somebody clearly got nailed and like got rocked. And I just felt like since there were no like super significant moments, I just left the fight open for the judges to give it to either or. Because really both of them were trading shots. Like I said, I felt like Bermudez, to me, he won purely just kind of based on volume alone. But, I mean, it's not like Feely was landing shots, but I felt like he spent a lot of the fight kind of like circling around, backpedaling. I felt like Bermudez kind of just pushed the pace the entire time.
Kicked the shit out of his leg.
Right. Like, Bermudez to me just seemed like he was clearly just outworking Feely, but I don't know, that the only thing I can think of is just due to a lack of there wasn't one significant hit where like Bermudez rocked him or a round where he was just like on top the entire time. I guess that's like the only way I could see this fight going to Feely. And like I said, it's not like he fought a bad fight. He definitely landed some good shots. I just thought like his volume was not as high, and like I said, he spent a lot of the fight kind of circling and countering, which worked at some points, but he definitely ate his fair share of shots. But I don't know, judges saw a different fight. They gave it to him. I guess kind of is what it is. What did you think?
I thought Bermudez won all 3 rounds, so Yeah, that's where I'm at. Sorry, Stokes. But yeah, no, like Philly looked good. Like one of the things they mentioned during the broadcast is like Philly finally feels like he looks like a fighter should look. And when he came to the UFC, he was a string bean, like a muscly string bean, but like a string bean. Like now he looks like a big featherweight, like long, strong. He was able to fend off, I want to say 5 or 6 of Bermudez's takedowns. He didn't get taken down to like the third round, and even then he was able to get up. So great shit. Um, he did much better with the jab. But Bermudez with those leg kicks, man, he really. If you want an example of how to chop down a bigger fighter, so that you are able to get inside later in the fight, this was it. Because like, come the third round, like the range was nothing. Bermudez was landing really easily over the top with the right hand. Was really had Philly like limping on that leg. Just like really good work from Bermudez, but Philly was landing really hard early on. I'll give him that. Like lots of jabs, lots of hard jabs, lots of kicks. It was a really good fight, actually. Like, don't let the decision or the controversy around it fool anybody. Like, it was a good fight.
Yeah. I mean, these moments just kind of happen. Like every now and then, you're just gonna get one of these fights where you might question the judges, but yeah, as you said, it was entertaining fight nonetheless. And I guess I won't be so mad about it only because, like you said, Philly did look good. So I guess I'm more willing to just kind of let this one go. I'm sure Bermudez does not feel the same, but since Philly did like a solid job, I guess I'm not gonna harp and be angry on Twitter over this. But
The thing that probably sealed it for him were the takedowns. We didn't mention it, but he got like 4 of them, right? In the first 2 rounds.
yeah, I don't remember him doing. Did he? I remember him doing a lot with him.
Oh no, like Bermudez got up at most like 15 seconds later. So
Yeah, that's still an accomplishment. Like the fact that he was even able to take him down, like I said, and even fend off the takedowns, which, you know. But yeah, good performance from Philly. Really from both. It was a nice fight. By the end of the fight, both of them were. Philly was definitely bloodied up. But yeah, Bermudez was pretty marked up too. So once again, if you want to watch some violence, this another good example of just violence on this card that happened.
real quick, MMA Mania, fuck you guys. You scared the crap out of me.
What happened?
They just posted a story. UFC champ Chris Cyborg is about to become a mom, but she has an 11-year-old girl she's planning to adopt.
Yeah, we cannot lose the featherweight champ in a division where there are only
2
2
fighters.
people.
Well, I was talking more. I was thinking more like the Amanda Nunes fight.
Oh, that would have sucked. Oh, that would have sucked.
I mean, like if it had happened, congrats to her. But like, come on,
Yeah.
timing, man.
Right. Have your baby on your own time. Not when we got fights to go down. But yeah, shout outs to this fight. Co-main event was pretty nice and violent. But really this whole well, I can't say this next fight was that violent. There were some shots landed though, but anywho, Gregor Gillespie, Jordan Rinaldi. I think you had mentioned. I didn't know this. What's Rinaldi's UFC record?
I want to say he's like 1-1 in the UFC.
He's 1-2 actually.
Well now.
Well, now he's 1-2. Yeah, he was 1-1 at the time of the fight.
And his only win was over Alvaro Herrera.
Yeah. So they threw a hometown guy in there against pretty highly touted undefeated prospect, and I mean, to Rinaldi's credit, he landed a few good shots in the beginning. I want to say he landed a head kick at some point. I think he landed a pretty good knee too. But pretty much once this fight went down to the ground, that was pretty much like all she wrote. Did he get ground and pounded out? I can't remember the ending of this fight.
One moment. Sorry, you called me mid-chew. Gillespie got on top. Well, first of all, Ronaldo did a great job throwing Gillespie off with those uppercuts because he was just like winging them. He really wanted Gillespie to stay up. Did not work though. I want to say he got him down with like the single leg or something like that.
I think it was one of the kicks or a knee he threw, and I think Gillespie caught it. Something like that happened.
Yeah.
But no, it might have been a single leg.
But he got on top of him, tried to go for like a bunch of different submissions. I want to say he tried to go for like Americana, a rear naked choke, but Ronaldo wasn't having it, so he flattens him out on his back, and just proceeds to pound him with his one arm for like a good 10, 15 seconds before the ref's like, you're not fighting back, I'm calling the fight.
Yeah. And hometown guy just kind of gets trounced.
Story of the night.
Yeah. But I mean, good on Gillespie. Definitely a prospect worth keeping an eye on. I like how after the fight and the post fight, he's like, "Yeah, I know you guys are booing me, but I had to come out here and do my job." Basically, just saying like, "I trashed your hometown guy. Just deal with it." But yeah, good on Gillespie. He's now, is he 11-0?
Yep.
So 11-0 in a division that just like a division that just never ceases to have talent. So he's like the 80th person worth keeping an eye on in this division. Like
basically. Hopefully they put him they put him on that Brooklyn card, like going to fight kind of at home, in New York. Like the dude's 31, 32, something like that. So it's time to strap a rocket on his back and just like launch him into the top 15 because this division is not kind to older fighters.
Yeah.
So you gotta get him in there while he's still young.
Yeah. And he's a fun fighter too. Like he's not, and I don't know, man. I feel almost bad for like the prospects in this division. Cause it's like you're never. This is gonna be the easiest fight he'll ever get. Like after this, if they decide to bump him up a notch in competition, like he could very well get starched in his next fight just because everybody's so good. So, but I mean, nevertheless, shout outs to Gillespie. Definitely a talent worth keeping an eye on. Undefeated up to this point. So, shout outs to him. This next fight, this was a very, especially that first round. Drew Dober, Frank Camacho. One of them got an award? Did it get fight of the night?
Yeah, they got fight of the night.
Yeah, because I remember reading they got the $50K bonus. I guess before I even go into the fight, shout outs to Camacho because in that one card that shall not be named, he was one of very few fighters who had a good fight on that card, a fight worth mentioning on that card that was the longest card in UFC history. So shout outs to him. He fought Drew Dober in what was just a 3-round just boxing fest pretty much. Unfortunately for Camacho, he had a pretty good first round, and then I think he just kind of emptied the tank, and it just seemed like Dober was probably a bit more well conditioned and was able to kind of keep the pace up. Camacho considerably slowed down in the second, kind of picked it back up in the third, but this fight was just violence, like two dudes who were just kind of just winging it and just cracking each other. It was really beautiful and just fun to watch. But yeah, Camacho ran out the tank. Drew Dober just he just had more in the gas tank. Really kind of seemed like he didn't really get too winded. Like he kept that pace up for a good amount of time. But this is if you don't see any fights on the card, you should definitely watch this. Like this fight was just, it was violence just all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah, fun fact, this is Camacho's third fight in the UFC. It's his third fight of the night. Second time getting paid for it because he missed weight when he fought, who was it? Damian Brown at the Verdum Tybura card. So, but yeah, dude's made for $50,000.
Yeah.
Like he's going to go out there. He's going to he's gonna get the crowd going. Just a Dober who is like quietly becoming one of my favorite welter lightweights, who just consistently fight and is consistently getting better, but not good enough to be like a top talent. I don't have like a lot of technical like leaning from this fight. Like it was like a really good scrap between two lightweights who fought up a weight class.
Oh, I didn't realize. What did he start? He did start at lightweight, didn't he?
Camacho?
No, the Dober.
Dober, yeah. He fought in the kind, I think. Or am I just making that up in my head?
I'm trying to remember who.
Oh yeah, he fought in the kind and then married his sister.
Okay. I want to say I can't remember if it was this fight. Oh my god. I'm like rewatching this fight now. Yeah, this was the fight. Camacho was landing a lot of good like these little trips that he was doing when they would clinch. He landed a good number of these, especially in the first round. I think he landed like 2 of them. But
oh yeah, the foot sweeps.
yeah, he was landing those foot sweeps were money. Like every time he was going for him. But yeah, he kind of just ran out of the tank eventually. But yeah, they were slugging in the first, and he actually dropped he dropped Dober in the first at the very end. But not completely dropped him. He didn't even sit him down, but like he buckled his knee, and then yeah. But shout outs to Camacho and Dober. Like this was an awesome fight. 2 dudes who just slugged it out pretty much. The main card was pretty dope all in all. Like it went by pretty fast. I mean the Philly fight was the only one. Oh no, these both went to decision, but like it was a good main card. Like all of the fights had pretty good action.
If you're here for the action, like this is worth checking out.
Right. You got your dose of needed violence. So yeah, that was actually the whole main card. So I guess we'll get on to some of these prelims. Not all of these. I watched all of them. I don't remember all of them. But the feature prelim was Bobby Green and Eric Cook.
Coke.
Coke.
I can't remember. I think it's Coke. I'm gonna say it's Coke.
I don't know why it feels like it's been.
He has a Coke head tattoo on his arm or something. So.
Somebody mentioned this. I don't remember where I read this at, but somebody had mentioned it during this fight. I don't know if anybody remembers that because like Eric Coke was in the WEC. He looks completely different than what he did in the WEC. I don't know if you remember him back then, but he was really pale. He almost looks like a completely different person now.
I mean, maybe he's been getting that vitamin C.
But
chilling out in the sun.
Living life. Why does it feel like it's been so long since we've seen Bobby Green? But I know like he fought the Venata fight wasn't like super long ago.
Because before that it was before like there was a point where he took a year off. Between this Magomedov fight and the Poirier fight. So plus when he does fight, it kind of looks like it's a little forgettable.
Well, he did his thing in this fight.
Holy shit, you're right. This dude's definitely getting tans between fights.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. If you look at his WEC highlights, he was pale as a ghost. Like, he looks like a completely different person.
Like I'm not sure this is the same guy.
Right. I mean, I get it. He went up a weight class because he used to fight at featherweight, but like he looks completely different. Like he doesn't even look like the same person. Like I think in WC he was bald headed. Now he's got a head full of hair, tatted up.
Remember when Eric Koch was supposed to get a title shot off of beating Jonathan Brookins?
Yeah. Yeah, he was supposed to be that guy. He was supposed to be that guy.
I remember there were people who thought he was going to be Aldo.
Yeah. Same as Josh Grisby.
But shouts to Bobby Green, who is actively working to get rid of that boring fighter moniker he got stuck with after the Thompson fight up through the Magomedov fight. Like, real quick, I don't think people realize what a shitty part of his life he was going through at that point. Like, his one brother got shot and was killed. His other brother got shot and he lived, but like he got shot. There was rumors that there was like a gang threat on his life. Like he was sleeping. Like, he had just had a kid who was like 2 months old and was sleeping on his coach's couch so that they would not shoot up his house.
Yeah, that's
On top of all of that, he had an ACL tear. Like,
talk about 99 problems. Like,
yeah, like no shit. This dude's mind wasn't completely in fighting.
all right, he
So
got a hit out on you. That's
so
hard to concentrate on hitting pads when.
yeah. So like, it's fun. It's great to see that he's finally turning into the fighter like I thought he would be.
And yeah, this turned out to be like a really good fight. Coke had a pretty good first round. I don't know if I would have gave him the first round, but they both were landing good strikes. Bobby, of course, signature shoulder roll that he always does was in full effect. I want to say I think Coke got a takedown in the first, so I don't know. You might have been able to give Coke the first round, but I think the second and third, Bobby just seemed like he was gaining his confidence. He gave him the Nate Diaz walk down a couple of times. It just felt like the second and third, he was just finding his range a lot better, and yeah, he just kind of put on the show. It was a really good, entertaining fight. Yeah, it was just good to see Bobby Green back. Like, fun fight. He looked, I guess you could say, looked like kind of renewed.
I think he's at a new gym too. He's like a new coaching staff and everything. Like one of the things I really like we don't see from a lot of fighters is just how slick they are in the clinch. And I'm not talking about like positional dominance or anything like that, but like Bobby Green will like have an underhook on you, or you'll have an overhook on him, and you're like squeezing down and everything, and you have the wizard and everything. He'll slip his arm out and then hit you 3 times with that hand before you have any idea what's going on. Like I can't think of another fighter who can do that type of thing. It's just like so natural and slick.
He does. Well, I think he kind of got blooded up in this fight, but there were a lot of moments too where like Coke was really throwing to kill, and there were just moments where he would throw and just Bobby Green just like wasn't there. Like Bobby will fire off one or two, and then his head is off the swivel.
Yeah.
And Coke is just kind of swinging at nothing. And yeah, I mean Bobby was working hands. He was getting them body kicks. Yeah, like I said, really in the second and third, you could just tell he was finding his range better, and it just kind of seemed like Coke just couldn't. And it wasn't like a lack of effort. Like, it's not like he wasn't trying, but yeah, like you. I literally just watched a combination where they clinched and he just elbowed Coke twice, and then got out of the way. Like, yeah, it was a really entertaining Bobby Green performance. Unfortunately, he's in the lightweight division where there are no easy fights. So, I mean, it would be cool to see him go on a run. See maybe, but I'm pretty sure in this division there are no lack of fun fights we could see him in. But yeah, overall though, good performance from him. Definitely glad to see him back. And I really enjoyed these little Nate Diaz walk downs he was doing, where he just kind of like he would punch Coker back up, and he would do like the whole puff his chest out, walking around like the big bad wolf, but. Nah, man, yeah, awesome performance from Bobby Green. This was definitely worth being the feature prelim. Oh man, oh, this next fight. Unless you had anything else to add. Did I lose you?
Now we can get to this brutality.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh man. Mirsad Bektik back with a vengeance. Latest victim, one Godofredo Pepe. Or that's the nickname, but Godofredo Castro. To Castro's credit, before his demise eventually happened, um, he was definitely throwing with the intent to kill. This fight was a little wild. Um, was it me or I felt like I don't know, like Masada was just angry in this fight. Like he had some really just angry
oh yeah, no, he
flurries.
bit down on this one.
Like he was pissed. Like he woke up with the Darren Elkins fight like fresh on his mind.
Yeah,
He was not a happy man.
yeah. No, he got after it like in ways that we have not seen Becta get after it before. Just like, and you think because this is his first camp, I think, where he trained like the full time at TriStar. I think that, and that's a good move for him because the comparison has always been GSP for Bektik. He the way he fights, the way he approaches fights, it's always stylistically been similar to GSP, so it makes sense that he goes to the guy who trained GSP. But like this was just the anti TriStar. Like this is I'm going to throw this right hand and hit you with it as hard as I possibly can, as many times as I possibly can. Because he was literally just marching into the pocket and throwing with Pepe, who for his like up until the knockout was like holding his own. In turn, because they were both kind of missing a whole lot. Bektik did tag him a few times really hard though. And then that punch
Whew.
right to the middle of the sternum.
And he just died after that. Like it was
Like curled up in the ball and just ugh.
I don't know if it was as devastating as the Pico KO was, but it was up there.
It was it was oof.
And I think what kind of made this like so bizarre is like at least with the compared to the Pico KO, like the Pico KO was like that winding punch to the body. This was a straight. Like
Oh yeah, no, this was right down the middle, right to the center of your chest.
right, like there was no wind up or it wasn't like he cocked his arm back crazy far. Like he just threw a straight. Like you have to have some crazy power to he just landed a straight and just literally just shut Godofredo off. Like that was it. I don't know if this was a part of TriStar's game plan. I feel like they're more methodical, but whatever Bektik did, it worked. You know, who needs a game plan when you can hit that hard? Oh man, yeah, that punch, Jesus Christ.
Like the knock against him was that he didn't have power. Bektik. That apparently that's not true because
Yeah.
just absolutely torched this man.
What do they do with him next?
Get him a top 15 guy at the bottom. Don't try to toss him back in there with like an Elkins or a Stevens. Like who's hanging around the bottom of the top 15 of featherweight?
There's Moicano at. He's down there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Moicano, Feely,
That
who
Miles
just won a
Jury.
fight today. That same card. That makes all the sense in the world. Um, Qatar. Or I keep calling Qatar Cater. Cater just won a fight. Miles Jury. Like there are dudes from the fight.
I like the jury fight. I think that's a winnable. All right, so due to technical difficulties, aka I hit the wrong button and hung up on the call. You guys, before this, you'll probably hear a DJ Scratch edit because I accidentally hung up. So, but I guess we were just wrapping up the Bektik and Godofredo fight. Yeah, anybody in that lower top 15 for Bektic. I'm all for. I like the Miles Jury fight. Um, but really anybody though. I definitely want to see this dude fight more. Hopefully he doesn't get derailed again. But yeah, vicious KO from him. Um, yeah, another highlight of just violence that happened on this card. um, this next fight, this is where the prelims get a little murky for me.
I mean, do we really have the just try to skim through this as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Caitlin Chukagan. Is that how you say it?
Chukagian.
Chukagan and Mara Romero Barella. I watched like a bit of this fight, just a smidgen, but I was also watching Golden State and the Sixers game, which was really good. So I think I picked that over this. I did not regret. Yes, I don't regret my decision. Caitlin won via decision. I guess that's pretty much that.
She really hit that air really hard.
I don't remember anything from that fight. I have no idea what happened.
She shadowboxed her way to victory, and Mara Romero, was it Berea? Kind of just stared at her.
Yeah.
So
if it gets you the win, it gets you the win.
Imagine Frankie Edgar, like BJ Penn era Frankie Edgar, like if he fought from his punches were like from a foot away. He didn't shoot for takedowns, and he hit even less hard. That's exactly how Chukagian fights, and it kills me to say this because she is also a former Team TSMMA fighter, but that's the type of performance she gave on Saturday. It was not fun or good or what's it called? Enlightening? No. It's not a good look for flyweight. And, I mean, it worked. Mara Romero looked completely, just lost. She had no idea how to get inside her range or to catch her. And she was shooting for takedowns from, 5 feet away. Couldn't get anything going. So, props to Chukagian, I guess.
Yeah, a W is a W, I guess.
I mean, nowadays it's really not. So,
the next fight, Ronda Marcos, Juliana Lima. Ronda Marcos and her red hair took Juliana Lima down, all 3 rounds. Pretty much all I remember from this fight.
See, people were a lot harder on this fight than I was. It was just kind of like a boring grappling match. But it wasn't anything that got me upset. Not like the Chukagian Berea fight.
I mean, Ronda, did a thing. It wasn't the most eye-pleasing thing, but he was just clearly out-grappling her.
Yeah, so sometimes you just gotta go out there and get the win, and you're coming out. She's win-loss in the UFC. She's yet to win 2 fights back-to-back, and I'm assuming she thinks that 2 losses in a row means that she's gone. Which I don't think is necessarily the case, but who knows nowadays what the criteria is to get cut.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I think they just wake up one day and flip a coin.
Yeah. But she got the win. She got the definitive win. Props to her. Do you think they go with Juliana Lima?
Oh, what's that? Let's peep the resume.
She's lost 2 in a row. She's 1-3 in her last 4, and she is 3, 4, 3 and 4 overall.
To her credit, that's me trying to be an optimistic. Her losses are to Joanna Jędrzejczyk, which is no shame. Carla Esparza, no shame. Tisha Torres, no shame. But she is 35.
Also, she's boring.
Yeah, so I'd say they might give her one more, but I don't know. That I feel like with those losses, you might have seen the peak of what she can do, and yeah, I don't know if that's somebody they keep around. But yeah, at least Marcos lived to fight another day. She did her thing. So congrats to her winning by decision. This next fight, which was the second fight on this card that ended in split decision, Ji Young Kim and Justine Kish. This fight to me, kind of like the Bermudez Philly fight. At least from what I saw, a lot of people thought Kish won. For me, this fight kind of came down like the other fight did, as to where when there aren't any like super significant moments, you just kind of leave the fight open for interpretation, I guess, for the judges. So I do feel like Young Kim has a pretty hard right hand, but
yeah, she definitively won the third round.
Like she can crack.
Yeah,
I'll definitely give her that. She can crack.
She's there to throw down.
But yeah, it's just one of those fights where like I kind of didn't get why people were so mad, because I mean they both were landing shots, but it wasn't like, at least the way I saw it, it wasn't like Kish was like dominating or anything like that. Like it wasn't so definitive that, at least in my eyes, that like it was just outright, oh, she won. So I mean, when it went to split decision, I wasn't really too surprised. Though I think in real time I did think Kish was gonna win, but I wasn't at the same time like surprised that she lost, because the fight was just that close. So these moments just they kind of happen. The fights are that close. Nobody lands anything like too crazy. There aren't any like defining moments in the fight for either or. It's just kind of both of you trading back and forth, and the kind of fights they kind of can just go either way. And
yeah. I feel like what's her name? Ji Young Kim. Like the entire point of the fight, and it wasn't a bad plan. It was she wanted to walk Kish into strikes, right? Like that was her whole plan. She was moving away. She was trying to get Kim to take the bait and like throw herself into a strike. Because if you remember the Nina Ansaroff fight with Justine Kish, there were parts of that fight where Justine was literally just running at Ansaroff, like full sprint running. So I think her plan was, Kim's plan was literally just like wait till those moments happen, plant your feet, and then throw down. I think she could have done a better job of getting Kish to chase her. But other than that, like, it was just kind of like a solid, like you said, like a solid back and forth up until like the third, which was really like the only round that was like definitive in my opinion. So
I also read a headline. It was a headline or a quote. It was somebody before the fight. I guess they were interviewing Young Kim. And they were like, or I don't know, maybe a fan said it. It was like, go make Kish poop her pants again. She was like, no, I don't want to do that. So something along those lines. I thought that was kind of funny. But shout outs to Kim. Pretty solid performance. Definitely can crack with that right hand. So, and once again, I mean, props to there being a flyweight division now. A lot of people are finding new homes. So,
Kish looked way better at flyweight than she has in her recent strawweight run. Like she looks more powerful, less stiff.
So, yeah, hopefully I don't know who else might make the jump or come down, but I feel like this division isn't, it's not great yet, but it's not too bad so far. Like the flyweight fights so far they've been decent. So it's not looking like this is a mistake division or something that shouldn't have happened. So we'll see. These next two fights, I can't comment much on either. Vince Pichel got a unanimous decision over Joaquin Silva. I don't really have much to add. I don't remember much of this fight, to be honest.
I will say, shouts to the homie Five Souls, wherever he may be. I remember he was boys with Vince Pichel and he hooked me up with some gear. So props to him. A guy that's like what 4 years now. It was like 4 years ago, yeah. So I'm happy for show one for them because that was their boy. So, but other than that, I don't got shit on the fight.
Yeah, props to Free Gear. Everybody needs a plug.
Yeah, I think it was helping them with like their Indiegogo thing, where like they were trying to get there's some money for their clothing line, and they designed like Muhammad Ali and Dan Gable and Sugarfoot Wallace like inspired gear, like T-shirts and stuff. And they hooked me up. They sent me like 2 shirts and a hoodie that I still have. And it came with microphone buds and as like the drawstrings.
Hmm.
I completely destroyed the microphones, the earbuds, but I still wear the hoodie from time to time. So
Shout out to the plug.
yeah,
This next fight, Nico Price, George Sullivan. I'm mad that I watched this fight like 2 times and I still don't remember it. But Nico won by a rear naked choke. Don't have much else to say about this fight.
I already watched the fight like 5 minutes before we started recording. Now I don't remember it much.
Shout out to Nico Price.
Shout out to Nico Price. I think my main takeaway was he still needs a lot of work on his wrestling and boxing. Because I think at points he was just kind of like jumping at him with those right hands. And he's really big and really quick and he hits really freaking hard. So of course it's gonna work on someone like George Sullivan, who's not really any of those things except big. But yeah, no, big, solid win. He's a really good submission fighter. So,
Real quick before we get to the last fight, did any of the North Carolina guys win?
no.
I just noticed that. Wow.
I told you, theme of the night.
Everybody took the plunge. It's funny, this last fight, which was a Fight Pass prelim, I actually do remember. And I had notes and things to mention for this fight. Corey Sandhagen versus Austin Arnett. When this fight first started, I was trying to remember where I saw Sandhagen from before. Because he just looked really familiar. And then I remembered he was on the LFA card that, what's his name, when the interim, the one that Thon Lee won his interim title on. He was on that same card.
Last week.
Yeah, and I remembered him kneeing a guy in the face and elbowing him and punching him into oblivion. Yeah, Corey Sandhagen, I've actually, after remembering where he came from, I went back and watched his fight with Jose Aguayo on the LFA card. And I went back and watched some of his older cards because he was an RFA also. He's a fun dude, somebody to definitely keep an eye on. Really fun, dynamic striker. Watching a lot of his highlights, and he did it in this fight also. Not afraid to go to the body. He is one to throw body punches a lot, and they tend to be very effective. And this fight kind of looked like all of the other fights I've seen from him. Just like a lot of dynamic striking, punches, kicks, knees, elbows. Like the whole striking arsenal this dude pretty much has on display. And I don't remember the TKO finish. I just know he kind of beat the crap out of this dude. But
Oh, he hit him with a body punch that literally like it was
oh yeah, he caught him with like 2 body punches, I think.
Oh yeah, he got the one that made him like keel over, and then the one that put him away.
Yeah.
But it was basically the same punch that Aaron Pico landed last week.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. So, yeah, Sandhagen is a dude at featherweight to keep an eye on. Like at most, I'm not saying like he'll be champ or anything, but if you pair him up with somebody who was willing to stand with him, he's gonna give you violence, like guaranteed violence.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of things I really like. Like the 2-on-1s in the clinch where he would grab somebody like his arm and like he would be on the outside angle, and he would refuse to give it up, and and just from there he would land like a combination or something. Like the very first combination of the fight he threw was like a Jose Aldo like left hook to the body, right leg kick to the lead leg, and that immediately won me over. Because we don't see that anywhere near enough. But he's just such a weird dude. Like Joey came up with the comparison to Max Holloway. I think it's pretty fitting. Like a rangy dude who goes to the body. Who he probably moves a lot more than how Holloway. Like some mix of Holloway and Dillashaw.
Yeah, I think he trains or he did train with
Yeah, when Dillashaw was out in
Dillashaw.
Colorado, they were training buddies, which makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah, you could see there were little subtleties that he did that were kind of like Dillashaw-esque. So yeah, he's somebody to definitely keep an eye on. He's probably going to give us some TKOs and KOs in the near future. And at featherweight, there's a never-ending list of exciting people to fight to match him up with.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty sure we'll be hearing from him pretty soon again.
Who's the dude who the bantamweight who was who like Snoop Dogg got like he was smoking weed with Snoop Dogg after his fight on like the Dana White Contender Series?
O'Malley?
O'Malley, yeah, he reminds me of O'Malley.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I think I would say the one difference. I think he hits harder.
Oh, definitely.
he definitely because O'Malley kind of reminds me of like Caceres. Like they have nice dynamic strikes, but they're not like knockout artists. But
Yeah.
Hagen can put you away. Like especially if he catch you with that body shot, you might be done. Like guys, I always say I'm gonna remember, I might not, but there's a highlight video of Sandhagen's fights online, and like a lot of his fights end in body shots, or there's a significant moment in the fight where he crushed somebody with a body shot, and that ultimately led to him winning. So yeah, that's something in his game that I do like. So yeah, that was UFC on Fox 27, Charlotte, North Carolina. None of the Charlotte fighters won, but you know.
I mean, that's disappointment is a part of life.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. It's, you know, can't win them all. But are there any other cards this weekend? Anything else worth mentioning before we get in? Oh, unless you want to quickly talk about the Bellator card, just like 2 fights.
Lorenz Larkin finally won a fight again. He out kickboxed Fernando Gonzalez to a solid win. Steve Cazorla got knocked out. I'm drawing blanks here.
Man, his KO was bad too. I think he was like coming in trying to like, cause they were exchanging, and then Cazorla like tried to come in and close the distance. He ate a right hand for his troubles. And
I should probably name the guy who beat.
oh yeah, Jake Smith. Jake Smith. Oh man. Oh, you still there?
Oh yeah. I'm just looking at Jake Smith's nickname. It's the half black attack.
What? Hold up. Hold on. I have to see this. Hold on. The half black attack. Is this real?
Is anything real?
He does not look much mixed. There has to be some other. Hold on, this can't be right. I'm trying to get a picture of Jake Smith up. Oh no, he is mixed. See, I was half paying attention to the fight, so I didn't really notice it. That is a terrible nickname, though.
That's why it's an amazing nickname.
The half black attack. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. You know, putting it down for, you know, the half blacks out there, I guess. He's gonna
what
have
else
Logic. He's
happened?
gonna have Logic do his walkout music next.
Oh God.
Oh, the half black attack. But all jokes aside, though, it was a good KO. Like Cazorla looked like he was trying to headhunt and go for the kill, and Mr. Half Black Attack was not having any of that noise, and he shut that down. And I guess worth mentioning, Tyrell Fortune and his brother Tyree Fortune both fought on the undercard. Both won by decision. So that's always good. Need to keep any new prospect in Bellator winning at all costs for the sake of having new faces. So shout outs to both of them. And shout outs to the 30 other prelim fights that Bellator lists but did not televise or put anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, before we jump out, a couple of dudes who picked up wins. Jorge Linares picked up a win over Mercedo Gesta, and Lucas Martin Matisse beat Tewa Karam on HBO. And as part of the WBSS World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight semifinals, Alexander Usyk, former Olympic gold medalist, now like WBO and WBC Cruiserweight champion, defended his WBO title, won the WBC title by beating Myris Briedis. I'm never gonna freaking pronounce that right. I should know I should know Latvia by now. But Briedis, he beat him over to a majority decision. If you haven't seen the fight, go watch it. It's a pretty solid fight. Now he'll be fighting on what is this? What is the 5th month of the year? May. He'll be fighting on May 11th. He'll be fighting the winner of this weekend, as in February 3rd. The winner between Yunir Dodotikos and Murat Gassiev, which is going to be a great fight. So tune in and watch that, or don't. I don't care.
Was there one card?
There was. It was former champion Kairat Akhmedov and Gaethje Eustachio. Kyo. I'm never gonna get that right either. Goddamn names. But
who won that one?
The Filipino Gaethje Eustachio. He actually won the interim title.
Oh man. I guess that would kind of be well, I'm not sure how the rankings are. Sound like that would be an upset.
Yeah, I think so. He lost the previous fight. It was a split decision though. I'm not sure if that was like contested. I wonder what's happening with Rice. Because he's the champ now. Unless he's hurt. Or just upset with one. Which seems to be...
I haven't heard his name in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's up to. I don't know if he's been injured or if he's just out there just chilling.
I mean, he's probably just chilling. Let's be real.
But, so I guess that was pretty much all of the fights and news that has been going down this weekend. Once again, shout outs to Fox for having short cards. Was able to watch this card and still stay up and do other stuff. So, but I guess time for parting shots. Excuse me, and shout outs. Guess I'll start. Shout outs to Ryan Spann, who is the new LFA. Just light. No, I lied. Yeah, no, never mind. I was right. New light heavyweight champ in LFA. He fought Alex Nicholson, and well, it was a pretty gutsy fight, man. He spent a lot of that fight just kind of getting blasted on. Like he was definitely getting it handed to him, and then he came out. I can't remember if it was the second round, but he caught Nicholson with a 1-2 that just dropped him, and then gave him some hammer fists, and that was pretty much all she wrote. So shout outs to Ryan Spann, new champ over there. Shout outs Shout outs to Mike Jones.
What?
So I recently, well, as of actually, I recorded this today. Well, by the time you guys hear this, the episode will already have been out. But I recorded an episode pretty much as an ode to like the Texas underground hip hop that I discovered around like 2000, 2001 when I was living there, and just kind of went into detail about how I like came up listening to those guys and like kind of knew them all before that blow up happened around like was like '04, '05 when they all like started getting mainstream success.
Ringtones,
And,
bruh.
right.
Best thing ever happened to Texas.
And right after I finished recording that podcast, I uploaded it today. Well, not today when you guys hear this, but today as we're recording. And like right after I uploaded it, I just started looking up a lot of the people that I mentioned to see if like they were still around. And lo and behold, I look up Mr. Mike Jones, and he's still out here.
I told you this. You don't remember when we had this conversation about ringtone rappers and like the eventual nostalgia for them?
Yeah. But I didn't
And,
know like
he's out here touring.
I knew he was out like I didn't know he was out as of like last year. Like but actually not even last year, I think this year. Like he put out he has he has a song with Slim Thug and some other guy, I think who's his artist, called 3 Grams. He has another song called Sauce. I actually listened to a podcast of him earlier, kind of detailing like where he's been, what he's been up to. Also an album that I mentioned in my episode was him and Magno's first round draft picks. They're doing a part 2. So shout outs to Mike Jones. Still out here.
You think when he goes on stage and he screams "Who?" everybody's like, "No, really."
According to him, he still got a solid fan base. Apparently, their shows are still, shows are still good. He's been getting good reception, so it is what it is. But shout outs to Mike Jones. And then
Where's the album? Because the third album was supposed to be "Where Is Mike Jones?"
Well, I think that's still supposed to be the thing. Like because I think he mentioned that during the podcast. Like that album, I think is still coming out.
That's good. Because I need all of them. Who is Mike Jones? Where is Mike Jones? Why is Mike Jones? What is Mike Jones?
We're getting the where. Hopefully in 2018. According to
and then it ends on how is Mike Jones?
It was funny because I was watching one of those videos about it's like some YouTuber. He does videos of like where is and then insert rapper that fell off once upon a time. He was like the saddest part about Mike Jones' comeback is that the 281 number doesn't work anymore. So you can't call the 281 number anymore. That's a wrap. But shout out to Mike Jones.
You think we can get Mike Jones on the podcast?
I feel like we could. I feel like we could. Somehow. I feel like we could. But shout out to Mike Jones though. I'm glad to see people from that era, still out being productive, still putting out music, It's cool to see. So he's got my support. I'm rooting for you, Mike Jones. I hope it all goes well. And I don't often throw shots on this podcast, but I gotta go throw 2. But one it's kind of a shout out / a shot, but kind of more of a shot. For anybody who's a baseball fan, the Cleveland Indians, after like 80,000 years, are getting rid of their chief Wahoo logo, finally. So that's the thing. Guys probably should have done this a long time ago, but I guess better late than never. So that's going to be happening, and now people are petitioning for the Redskins, for the NFL to follow suit. I feel like they won't, but that's a different story. So that happened, and shot to the NCAA president. What's this guy's name? Mark Emmert. Mark Emmert is the NCAA president. who, according to this article and many articles that I've read, was very well aware of a lot of scandals and like rape cases and all kinds of wild stuff that was going down in Michigan State around 2010. And he just kind of brushed them off. And now there are reports coming down that he pretty much knew about all of it. Like the people were sending him emails, he was well informed, and he just kind of brushed them off. So I believe he stepped down as the NCAA president. Also tied to him is Larry Nassar, which he knew about his scandals, I believe, also. So, Nassar got 40 to 120 years in jail or some basically a life sentence. We're not gonna see Larry again, probably ever. He's probably gonna die in jail.
Good.
And I don't know if Mark Emmert is getting like a punishment. I know he stepped down. I'm not sure if he's getting any kind of punishment though. But yeah, man, like the NCAA is just it's like the biggest scam ever pulled off.
God damn it, pay your players.
Like it is, and that could be a whole other just podcast, pretty much in general. But yeah, man, the NCAA has got to get it together. Like there's so much wrong that just goes on in like collegiate athletics. Yeah, like it literally could be a podcast in of its own. But yeah, Mark Emmert, you gotta get out of here, man. You're bugging. If you knew about all this, you didn't say anything. Sadly, it's not really surprising, but yeah, man. I don't know, but yeah, he's got to get out of here. But I don't know if he's been officially punished yet. I think he stepped down. Don't quote me, but I do know for a fact that he knew about the emails. He's still trying to defend himself, but dude, you gotta get out of here, man. But collegiate athletics is
garbage.
like, yeah, that's the moral of the story. But
either go pro or go somewhere else.
Yeah, like the whole. For anybody who, and not to go on another rant, but I know a lot of people who are still against collegiate athletes being paid.
Tell them what's wrong with this country.
Right. Well, once upon a time, I won't lie, like back in the day, before I knew as much as I knew now, I was on that same boat. But as of like a couple of years ago, the more I've read about it and like the documentaries I've watched, like the NCAA is such a scam. And for anybody who doesn't think collegiate players shouldn't be paid or just receive any kind of compensation, watch the Fab Five documentary. Watch the Fab Five documentary. Even if you're not a sports fan, like it's a great documentary nonetheless. But like these athletes get pimped so hard, and the schools make not millions, like billions of dollars off of them, and they're not allowed to get any of that money. They can't even have jobs. I don't even think a lot of people know that. If you're a Division I athlete, I'm not sure if it's the same for Division II and III, but you are not allowed to have a job, and you cannot make money pretty much in any way. There was a story of like a punter, I think, who had like a YouTube channel, and just because his YouTube channel was monetized, that counted as him making money, and he had to take his YouTube channel down.
Garbage.
Yeah, that's how the NCAA rules. So, but yeah, just had to throw that shout out. Mark Emmert, you gotta get out of here, bro. But yeah, that's all I got.
Since you started with whatever his name was, Larry, what's his face? What was the man's name in jail?
Oh, Larry Nassar.
Larry Nassar. I'm gonna throw a shot at the Grammys. Because Song of the Year, and I can't believe I'm saying this, in 2018 should have probably gone to Kesha. I don't know if you heard it, the Praying song.
Was that the one she performed?
Yes.
I kind of saw it. I like half saw it and half didn't.
Yeah, so I think that was like her only hit from this year. Let me just make 100% sure. But I don't know if you were following the story with her and Dr. Luke, her producer slash manager slash
Yeah,
connect
wasn't he
over.
like abusing her? It was something wild going on.
So, yeah. So let me. I want to get this straight. She also realized that Dr. Luke was partly cause of saying that Dr. Luke had tried to lose weight. Blah blah blah. No, this isn't it. Point being, Dr. Luke is a scumbag and a rapist, and her whole image was manufactured by like Dr. Luke. So, uh, the song "Praying," which honestly is probably one of the most powerful pop songs I've heard in decades, was a ballad about her situation and written in the most artful way possible, and it was so powerful about how she hopes that this man who hurt her so much would change, would not, would regret his actions, would pray, become a better person, so that the person that he currently is was no longer, like, just no longer existed. That his entire existence was wiped off the face of the earth, and it's just, it, it's not a retro, like it's not like retribution. It's something more than that. And that's way more especially in 2017. That was just way more. They just had way more meaning than like what the song ended up winning, which was like "The Shape of You," which is garbage.
That got the song of the year.
I think so. Yeah,
I can't remember. I watched that too, and I just don't remember who won.
it was yeah. I think it was "The Shape of You," which is garbage, literally garbage. It means nothing. So yeah, so there's a shot. So Grammys. I'm not even mad about the fact that Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z and quite honestly, Childish Gambino got passed over for album of the year. Because fuck it, I love 24 Karat Magic. Dude, in all honesty, I probably listen to that more than almost any other album last year. Like Finesse is my jam. I miss New Jack Swing so much. But the Praying not winning just it felt weird and terrible. Especially for a song like The Shape of You, which is stupid.
Yeah.
So there's that. And hopping from one criminal to another. Shouts to Gaffer Rakhimov, the new leader of the Olympic body boxing council, I guess, ABA. So for those who don't know, Rakhimov is like a legit criminal. But besides the stuff that we think he's responsible for, he's also responsible for like extortion and car theft, and he's like the U.S. Treasury Department has seized this man's assets because he is believed to be like knee deep in the international heroin market.
See, at our jobs, we have to go through background checks, and clearly this man skipped that process.
I mean, this is just a reminder. Aba's former president had to step down because of corruption, and this is the man they chose to replace him.
Oh man,
Oh my god.
this is what we got in 2018. The show rolls on.
Yeah. Nothing ever changes, bro. Never forget that. Crap, I can't find their names. I wanted to make a quick shout out to all the U.S. team members who went over and competed in the Yarogin Grand Prix in Russia. Um, behind the World Championships and the Olympics is probably the most prestigious wrestling tournament of the year. It's where all the best Russians and U.S. wrestlers go to compete. So yeah, the talent pool is pretty damn deep. But I want to say we had more than a fair share. Like I know for a fact Kyle Snyder won back-to-back is another one which he becomes the second American to do it. I can't find this woman's name. Who beat him? Oh, one second. Who beat him to that honor as an American? Tamira Stock, that's her name. Tamira Stock. She became the first American to ever win back-to-back at the Yarogin Games. God, I'm pronouncing that so wrong. The Yarogin Grand Prix, I mean. Also, David Taylor took home a gold medal, so props to him. It's just like great showing all around by the U.S. team. So, just props to them. And on a positive note.
Two more positives real quick that I just remembered to shout out. Oh, actually, one's breaking NBA news. Blake Griffin is apparently being traded to the Detroit Pistons.
I saw that. I forgot to bring it up.
So that's happening. And one more quick shout out I forgot to mention. I actually do like tennis. I only watch like the same 4 people, but I pay attention to tennis, so I try to. Roger Federer won his 20th Grand Slam yesterday, which I would have watched, but it came on at like 3:30 in the morning, and I was asleep. But while I was asleep, Roger Federer was out here being the GOAT. So,
how do you think Blake Griffin feels? Like he was in LA today and tomorrow he's going to Detroit. Like before we even talk about basketball.
You know, it's going to be an adjustment, you know. Talk about a market change, man.
I did not know that he was freaking he was 32 years old already.
Yeah, he's been around for a minute now.
Wait, what? Whoa. A 6'7" junior middleweight? What the hell?
However,
a boxing promoter in California just signed a 6'7", 154 pounder.
How are you 6'7" and you only weigh 150?
I'm assuming this man doesn't have legs.
You have to be missing a limb, or something's not right. You shouldn't be 6'7" and 150.
Did they not feed you?
Yeah, like you are definitely malnourished, and you probably shouldn't try to do any weight cuts. But
yeah, I saw that, so that was why I freaked. But yeah, poor Blake Griffin.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens in Detroit. That's not a destination I thought I would see him, man.
That's not a destination anybody thinks they're going to see themselves in.
Right.
You don't go to Detroit by choice.
Especially post like Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups era. Like that was not a hotspot destination. But that's pretty much it for the show today. As always, you guys can listen to the podcast on SoundCloud, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please remember to rate and subscribe. Also, we have the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page. Shout outs to the homie Mario who left us a 5-star rating. Appreciate that. And he actually tagged some other people to come listen to the mega cast we did. So appreciate that. Yeah, more fights coming, more content coming. Mike Jones maybe on the podcast.
Like imagine after you post this, he messages you and says, "Yo, I heard you want to be on you want to be on the cast. That's great. I've been a day one fan."
Oh man, that would be crazy.
Yeah, maybe he saw that episode you did of Texas hip hop and was like, "Yo, I might be in this. I'm not doing anything right now, so why don't I just read this or listen to this?"
Oh, he was in there. I gave him a few mentions. Some were good, some were not so good, but you know. But anyway, this has been another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. As always, anytime people are being punched and or kicked in the face, we'll be there to talk about it. And hopefully we catch you guys soon. Peace.